So when you are floating, you still come to forks in the path. You still have decisions to make. And it can be very difficult to figure out when you're at a decision-making process, well, okay, which is the one that is following my heart? Which is the one that is, which one does the flow want me to do? And for me, if I sit with this question, which is love and which is fear? Am I making a decision from love? Am I making a decision from fear? If I sit with that, almost always it helps me figure out what I need to do. And it's often not what I feel safe doing or feels comfortable. But if I think to myself, I'm not doing this because I'm afraid of the challenges ahead, I'm afraid that it won't be received well, I'm afraid of I won't have money to do it, I'm afraid that I won't have resources, or people won't support me. Well then, as I say it out loud, I'm like, oh, well, that's fear. If I say, it just feels like the right thing to do, if it feels like, that's the path that will allow me to stick by my guns, that's the path that is giving to others. It's so simple, but simple is sometimes truth. Is this love or fear? Am I choosing this direction out of love or fear? I look back and some of the decisions that, obviously everything worked out for the best, but I can look back now, like I chose my college out of fear. I was afraid of being a small fish in a big pond, so I went to a small school where I could be a big fish in a small pond. And so that's kind of the guideline that I look back, or I look now to decisions is, am I coming from fear? Am I coming from love? Now, that can be really interesting because sometimes that means you need to quit things. And we get trained to believe that, winners never quit. And the truth is, winners quit all the time. The key is understanding what you need to quit and when. I can look back at things that I've quit that I did out of fear, and I regret that. Maybe not regret, but I recognize that I was acting from a place that was not my highest self. But if I look at things that I stopped doing because it no longer was serving me, and I was sticking to my guns because of I said I would, or because, I'd committed to it, and yet it didn't feel right to me, like the job working with the kids. Like at some point I'm like, this whole path I'm on doesn't feel right anymore. I'm quitting. And that ended up being the honorable thing to do for myself and in the long run for the planet. Very difficult to know when quitting is fear or love, but it comes back to that same question. What is my motivation? Love or fear? Love or fear? Love or fear? And if you can find the anchor in that, you know exactly where to go. And I think that if you come back to that and you just take the path of love, then you can let go of the outcome. Because that means if you're just following love, then no matter what the outcome comes, it's correct. You may not understand. It may not look like what you thought was supposed to happen, but how could it not?